Good evening. Tonight, we're finishing the big patch day streams with doing the new Alliance raid. Which of course means that I have to first unlock it. So we're basically just continuing from where we left off earlier after a little break. I hope you all had a nice break if you went to have a break as I did. Hopefully some of you want to join me for the Alliance raid, but I do understand that a lot of people started the patch with the new Alliance raid, so I could imagine a lot of people already finished. Right, so it's Derek here. Oh, Caetsu, it's good of you to come, but I'm afraid there is still no word from Kryl and Grahatia. They're working as fast as they can to compile the findings of our investigation, I shouldn't doubt. But between the Phantom Realm's etheric data and the Monument's epigraph, they have much and more to review. Now, while awaiting developments, I had a mind to pay Snurgheim a visit in the Umphalos. If you aren't otherwise occupied, you should come too. He walked really far before I could go. And here we are in God's halls or something. Ah yes, at the local river. Oh, if it isn't Caetsu and Derek. But no Kryl or Ra, I see. Unfortunately, speaking of whom, would you not prefer to be with them in Sharlayan? You're a researcher too, after all. I find myself much more effective in the field. Being here gives me inspiration, you see. And of late I've been mulling over the opening words of the epigraph. As beings who endure by the will of the star, we are susceptible to the influence of hopes and prayers. Thus do we commit our yokes herein, lest we stray from our purpose. The suggestion that faith has shaped the nature of the 12 paints a truly intriguing picture. If truth be told, I was also hoping that I might speak with the gods again. But they haven't graced us since the time we solved the mystery of the monument. They only do so on exceptional occasions, it seems. Be that as it may, I believe there might be another way to see them. When we journeyed with the gods, Azema told me that each of them wished to speak with you in private. You, Caetsu. Me. If we were to call them before their heavens, I have a feeling they will answer. Oh. So, won't you give it a try? And afterwards, let us know what they said. I for one see no harm in it. But if you are disinclined, then do not feel pressured. It is entirely your decision. The quest won't progress if you don't do it though, so... You know. We'd rather if you did. You now have the opportunity to speak with those of the 12 whom you have encountered thus far. To do so, call to them before the entrances to their respective heavens. You may advance the quest at any time by speaking with Derek in the Umphalos. Oh. Ha! I'm guessing there's a lot of people that just went for it since he's right there. I want to talk with your god. How do you build? What do you do? The bigness himself. Ah, Caetsu, pleased that you should seek me out. I had wished to speak with you. It does me well to see that you have been dedicating yourself to crafting. In my capacity as the builder, I watch your progress upon this path with keenest interest. The act of crafting embodies the spirit of improvement and advancement. It is my hope that you will strive ever forward and seize that which you most desire with your own hands. Hmm. Hmm. Wait, why is there was there an exclamation mark over it before? Huh? Well, well, if it isn't the dauntless Caetsu, full glad am I that you would thus call to me. When you and yours investigate the origins of the Fist of Ralga, you posited some interesting theories. The connection between myself and the Self's divinity, in particular. You did well to draw that conclusion. Ah. Your inquiring minds have taken you far, child of man. And they will take you further still. It's us as mine had exclamation mark. Mine might have had it too, and I just didn't notice. Mm-hmm. Ah, Caetsu, at last you've come. I was right to entrust your zealous scholar companion with a message. Ever since our first meeting, I knew that I simply must see you again. There's something familiar about you. You awaken forgotten feelings in me. Feelings that once smoldered like embers amidst the ashes. Perhaps you resemble someone I knew long ago. Yet, whatever the reason, your presence gives me comfort and warmth. May your light ever burn bright. Yes! Yes! Hmm? Caetsu, to you who have given us her faith, we bid welcome. Know that though we appear to be two beings, a dual aspect divinity, 'twas not always so. Man's hopes harbor power, and 'twas his faith, offered over millennia, that shaped us into our present form. In answer to your faith, we, the traders, shall watch over mankind as he strives for that which he desires. I'm guessing he answered like that specifically because I have Notzal as my guardian faith. Hmm. How bold you are to summon me, Caetsu. It is no less than I expect from you. In recognition of your valor and deeds, I offer a word of counsel. Well do I know the power of men's hopes, of mortal faith, and there's no faith that I reject. Yet in every age, there are those who invoke the name of the divine for their own ends. Be not misled by them. Alright. Oh, I see, Ariel. Hmm. Oh, Caetsu, what a delightful surprise. You wished to see me, did you? I'm truly grateful that we can talk like this. As you know, I'm the goddess of love, yet that obviously doesn't mean I have a monopoly on love. For instance, my brethren love mankind with all their hearts, just like me. Oh. And whether or not Ocean is my beloved as mortals believe, I have more than enough room in my heart for everyone, be it men or gods. I love you all alike. And needless to say, I love my adorable Dalamud too, whom you and yours gifted to me. Ah, yes. The doggo Dalamud. Hmm. Soon. Oh yeah, that's a bunch. Why, if it isn't Caetsu, you wish to speak, do you? I don't know, I feel like you want to speak with me. Tell me, have you ever met an elemental? Many hold that they were born of me, and as I mentioned, they are the voice of those who abide in the Twelvewood. At times, they may seem excessive in their actions, but it is out of an abundance of love, so pray be good to them and heed their warnings. You got it. Ah yes, all thick. Small Kai's guardian. I didn't bring my horse today. Caetsu is it? I must say, there's something to be said for being summoned by a mortal. The life of man is but a drop in the great river of time. Thus are you and yours wont to rush ahead, not wasting a single moment. Be that as it may, certain sights will only come into view if one stops to look, so be not afraid to pass the time in ways which, at first, may not seem fruitful. Should you dare to do so, you may well be visited by an eye-opening experience. Such is the richness of time. This lesson I learned in another life from an unexpected visitor. In another life, you say? Hmm. Well, well now, if it isn't my dear Caetsu, how good of you to call to me. I'm sorry if I gave you a shock by joining my brother in battle, but I couldn't help myself. We've always done everything together, he and I. Such a joy it was to face you and yours. You displayed the self-same determination that allowed you to defy fate, and it was one surprise after another. I can't help but feel as though I spoke similar words long ago. Who was it to, I wonder? It might be a reference to something in LP's Bellringer. I believe the theory, at least, if not outright known fact, is that these gods are basically ancients. Even though I don't think they've outright said it, it's implied or something like that, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. Spoken to your satisfaction, have you? Then let us await Krylangrad's here together. Still no sign of them. Ah, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. As an adventurer, you are better traveled than most. Of the places you've seen, what kind do you like best? Thank you, Gassel. I think I might play healer. I was thinking Sage, actually, but I'll see if we're bringing another healer. Maybe I'll do something that matches with them. Bustling hubs brimming with activity. Natural environs unspoiled by man. Faraway lands where new encounters await. Quiet places where I can enjoy solitude. I do like that one. Is that so? Well, do I understand it? The desire to have a place all your own, where you might be with your own thoughts. I myself am partial to wandering Eorzea, so rich in ether, this land, and possessed of so many aspects. 'Twas when I was travelling through the Trollswood that I encountered this fellow. I knew not how he came to be injured and alone, but I couldn't turn a blind eye. He's long since recovered, and I probably should have returned him to his forest home. But when I see him here, undaunted in the presence of gods, I can't help but feel 'twas fate that delivered him to me. Still, the day will come when we must go our separate ways. They're finally here, everyone! Oh boy. Welcome. Cue the wolf's den music. Come. Welcome back. How fared your work? It took longer than we anticipated, but we managed to compile our findings and thence deliberated a course of action. Indeed. Hereon, we would do well to tread with caution. The waveforms we recorded with the etheric analyzer revealed an unsettling occurrence. In the course of fighting us, the gods expended a tremendous amount of their ether, so much so as to dilute their very essence. Lest you worry, you've done no wrong, Caetsu. The gods themselves wish to fight, after all. That being said, we should avoid engaging in further battle until we learn more about their true objective. To that end, we will seek out the 13th unnamed being, whose duty is to watch unflinching. If Raha is correct, and we have no reason to believe otherwise, said being is the Watcher on the Moon. Huh. You'll be pleased to know I've already acquired permission to use the Tower of Babel from the Ilsebard contingent, who oversees the structure with the Gallian people's leave. We're really going then? To the moon? Huzzah! Huzzah! I wonder what the Watcher's like. If there are no other matters, then let us set forth at once. That's the spirit, I think. If you still wish to speak with the gods, best to seek them out now. They may not be there later. Oh. Pilring also said there's a side quest chain in Elbis where there are a brother and sister that quote word for word Ulthig and Nemea. I do believe I remember hearing about that. That does make sense. Hmm. I don't remember the door being closed. Greetings, Heideland's champion. You're ever welcome here, as are your companions. Yes, yes, yes. Out with the pleasantries. It's a pleasure to meet you, Watcher. We come hoping that you would answer some questions for us. Questions about Heideland. We've deciphered the monuments at the heart of the Phantom Realm. In addition to the names and duties of the 12, it speaks of one who is unnamed, who shall watch unflinching. Are we correct in assuming that that individual is you? The 12 have existed for eras. If you know aught about them, will you not share your knowledge with us? They have a desire which they claim can only be fulfilled through battle with mankind. We wish to understand what that is. Please. So man has managed to come this far. Very well, you have earned the right to know. Remember, however, that I am but a creation. Though I have been imbued with some memories of the past, they are far from complete. First of all, I am indeed the unnamed being the monument describes. Oh. An entity created by Heideland to serve a purpose, alongside the 12. Together, they were charged with preserving equilibrium on a sundered and unstable star. Like myself, they were given shape from people who once existed. And like myself, they believed that the world should be entrusted to the new life that had emerged. While I do not possess detailed memories of that time, Bernard selected those she deemed best suited to their respective duties. That would explain why the 12 appear to have personalities like mortals. The men and women they once were influenced their personalities, yes, but so too did the faith of mortals. Knowingly or no, when men pray, they will the object of their worship to assume a form that can better grant them their heart's desire. In this manner have the 12 been shaped over eons into images that fit men's ideals. So you were right, Raha. Hopes and prayers have the power to influence the gods. Yet, even as they thus changed at Venar's behest, they would have refrained from intervening in mortal affairs. As a result, there will have been times when they acted in ways that are contrary to your expectations. But now that Heideland is no more and the final day is averted, the 12 have arrived at a decision regarding their fate, all their own. It is not for me to reveal the truth of their desire. I can, however, guarantee that it will not visit harm upon mankind. Nay, far from it. Well, I, for one, never felt that the gods meant us ill. To have your guarantee as well, we couldn't possibly doubt them anymore. It is most assuring to confirm the connection between you and the 12. With this, we may proceed in our quest with easier hearts. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. We shall return to the Umphalos and continue engaging with your brethren. That is well. As I watch on, I shall pray that the tale comes to a happy conclusion for gods and men alike. Monkey! I Hmm. If I remember correctly, may your journey be fulfilling. If I remember correctly, people were suspecting that Derek was actually one of the 12 all along, all the way back after the first part of the Alliance Raid series. Hmm. Something's amiss. The gods' avatars are nowhere to be seen. That's because our preparations are complete. Shoo. It's blobs. Boom. Nice spear. Ah, I've waited so bloody long for this moment. Why is now we're back to things being bloody again? I thought we finished with that with Alexander. Limlane, are such uncouth words the first you would speak unto our guests? Oh, leave off, Thaliak. You can't tell me you're not as excited as I am. I would be the first to admit my joy, but on such a momentous occasion, I would act with due propriety. Well met, children of man. 'Tis our understanding that you have spoken with the Watcher and ascertained our true nature. Indeed, we were created by Heidelin to tend the star. Having built the Omphalos at its heart, and our sanctums throughout ether-rich Eorzea, we labor to preserve the balance of reality. All of this we have learned, but there's still one thing we do not understand. Our analysis of the Phantom Realm revealed that you and yours dilute your very selves by fighting us. Would that not impede your ability to carry out your duties? We appreciate your concern, but you needn't worry. So the baby Opa Opa was Ocean all along. Loath though I am to disappoint, it isn't the little fellow. Ah, shucks. While my brethren used various creatures as their avatars, I chose the form of a man, the better to share in your solitude. And it fell to me. Oh my. The Wanderer, to beckon unto the Omphalos, they who could grant our wish. But what? How could you hide such a thing from us? Had you known my true identity and our purpose, we feared that you would refuse to fight us. But our fears were unfounded. You have heeded our request and, despite the hardship, endeavored to grant it. Forgive me, Caetsu, but I must leave the little fellow in your care. Oh. In the innermost part of our realm, we shall reveal the truth in its entirety. I await your coming with bated breath. This is our grandest moment, mortal. Gird your loins and have at us. I shall receive you with my all, be as a raging torrent, child of man. Yes, summoner with a bow. No. Oh. That's fair, Sharo. I just thought it would be even funnier if it was the monkey all along. It wouldn't really explain what Derek was, though. It's just a simulacrum next to the avatar or something. So Derek is the Wanderer, the deity who shares in men's solitude. And in order to beckon us to the Phantom Realm, he posed as an explorer and solicited the aid of the sons of Saint Koinak. In spite of this, I do not feel as though I have been deceived, nor do I harbor any resentment. Rather, I simply feel sad. Oh. I understand. It's as if a dear friend were suddenly spirited far away. In hindsight, perhaps it was in expectation of the coming battle that he had kept men at arm's length. Orc. Oh, I imagine it must be even harder for you. But to know that one of the 12 walked among us, it makes me want to do the best we can by them. Aye, since time immemorial, the 12 have watched over all who abide on this star, and even as they fulfilled their purpose of maintaining stability, as beings possessed of sentience, they also heeded the hearts of men. So let us likewise heed their hearts, and do our utmost to grant them their desire. Then I believe we all know what comes next. Alliance raid? Alliance raid! Woo! Woo! By all indications, this will be the final foray into the God's Sanctum. This task we entrust to you and your adventurer friends once more, Caetsu. As there's no telling what may happen afterwards, I shall remain on guard here. Twice now you have triumphed, and I have faith that you will do so yet again. Go well, Caetsu. Ta-da! Right! If you want to come along as we do the Alliance raid, let me know in the chat. I'll come outside to an area where I can see other players in case you'd rather just show up in game. Yeah, the plan is that we're doing that next. Right, I'll just give it a minute in case there's anyone that wants to come along, so they have a chance to say, yes, I want to come along. But otherwise we're going as these 5. Well, I guess it'll be us 5. You can see Shade is tanking, so it'll be me and Nev healing, and Aradil and Hoshi are welcome to play, well, DPS, it seems. This works very, very well for me, because I'd rather be barrier healer than pure healer. Well then. That was certainly terrifying. Gazel says, looking forward to Kai's Sage. Personally, I haven't seen much of it. Have I not played very much Sage? I feel like I have played a bunch of Sage on stream, but maybe not. So something that might be interesting to consider for those that... I know there's a lot of players that view the alliance raid in the way that, well, the token, the coin you get at the end that you can use to like buy an upgrade item for a piece of equipment, that's useful, but the actual gear from the raid, unless you want it for glamour reasons, there isn't like... It's basically considered dead on arrival because it's going to be 650. But we can upgrade crafted gear to 650 now, so who cares, right? Not very impressive. But something that is worth considering is that if on secondary or tertiary jobs that you don't have, like you might not have the resources to get them full 660 gear with the tombstone equipment and those tokens from the nuts and this, there will be gear like jobs where you can at best get 650. There, the armor sets also serve as potentially an alternative stat combination. For example, maybe there are gear pieces that, like, maybe there is a ring that is better, or maybe there is No, wait, no, there wouldn't be a ring because it's just an armor set. Never mind. Maybe there are specific armor pieces that have better stat combinations. Like, for example, tanks had to, like, if you weren't savage raiding, then before this patch, you had to choose between 640 gloves, I believe, and one other item, or having skill speed. So if you didn't want skill speed on your tank, then you didn't really have much choice. But if there's better stat combinations or different stat combinations here, that could help for those tertiary roles. Also, that is very nice. Interesting spots they choose to let you die, though. Hey, Bob. You missed some things, you could say. We talked with the gods. We're in queue for the alliance raid. If we're going to be really detailed about it, I've been streaming most of the day when we've done the MSQ as well. But yeah, we're still waiting for the queue to pop. I'm a bit surprised that we haven't had a queue in 5 minutes. I think it's an interesting glow on those weapons. Well, Gazel, 2 reasons for that. The first one is, if I'm going to use it, I'm probably going to dye it pink. The second is that pink happens to give a to dye it in such an outlandish color sometimes that it makes it really clear what parts can or cannot be dyed. So I use it for both of those things. Did we miss the chance? Has everyone completed the raid? Everyone already did the new alliance raid. No more groups. But yeah, the primary motivation is that I will probably use it in pink. So there's only good reason to like test it in pink. Very strange. Because as I just tab through like 8 colors until I know what dies. Well, that's also an option. I just usually can see it from just one by using cherry pink. Is the queue dead? Have we run out of people? Is it because every single person that's queuing are in like party with a healer and a tank? I do remember when we did this in the previous raid tier, it did take quite a while to pop. But that was, if I remember correctly, I went as Paladin, and that Alliance raid, I believe, released on the day of the Paladin rework or something to that effect. So there were a lot of Paladins who wanted to play Paladin. There are a few groups. Yeah, I do seem to remember that the queue was surprisingly long. Last alliance raid as well. Perhaps you could rush into a party finder. The reason why I'm not interested in doing that is because it seems like the party finder groups for the most part are trying to put together fully blind runs, and I know that there are some people in my group that aren't entirely blind, and I want to bring them as well. So we can't join them, and the groups that are I don't know if there even were any that weren't like specifically that. Let's see. Oh, this one says how many are there? Only one person? How many are there? That one is very, very full, but it's a blind run. That is a solo player. Bruh. It's always when you've been in queue for a while. The worst part is that they cancelled so early that it was clearly not the timer. Like, they clicked, oh, actually, it changed my mind, withdraw. Glimpse into the future, your foresight. You will see a pink small dragon. That looks ridiculous. It looks really beautiful when you're a little bit further away, but when it was all the way up close, it almost looked flat somehow. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, she says, why does this place look so much like Sharlayan? Well, you have to remember that the Sharlayans
Come, mortals. Make your way through our watery sanctum.
revere Thaliak as basically their god. So it would make sense that
Let us see how you fare against my servants.
a massive majority of the people that like pray to Thaliak are the Sharlayans. So it wouldn't surprise me if that colors his domain. But yeah, it almost looked like a really weird sun out in the distance. Like just a flat sun. Ow.
Only to be expected for they who vanquished my pupil Beauregard. It shall be my pleasure to welcome you personally. I have looked forward to this moment, children of man. The scholar shall measure
Son of
your
man.
depth of knowledge.
Ow. Huh.
The rivers rage at my behest.
Uh-oh. No!
Not all knowledge is wisdom.
That's true.
At what answer will you arrive, I wonder?
Right bank. Right bank. Left bank. Thank you, Bellringer.
Of ignorance be cleansed. Join me in deepest knowledge.
Here comes the geometry then.
Let flow the waters of your mind.
Oh. This is the Sierpinski triangle, among other things.
Seek new perspectives, and you shall find new paths.
Nice. That's fun.
Small wonder the others have exalted so.
It wasn't exactly this Sierpinski triangle, but reminded me of it at least. It had like the same idea. It's splashy time.
O waters purifying, reveal their nature. Tis time for a test.
A test, you say? What kind of test?
Share with me your ruminations.
I do not know. I didn't quite understand the mechanic.
Not all answers can be obtained through might.
He's going to turn... and no, that is not it, I don't think. I'm stuck in the wrong spot. So I took too long to think. I was convinced he was going to do them at the same time. The reason why I was not confident was because I thought he was going to do the left bank at the same time as his spin. But you could apparently adjust afterwards. That changes some things.
Well done, wise children. Well done.
Smooth sailing
That was
so
an
far,
interesting
I see.
one.
Come then, mortals.
Sure.
Come on, don't keep me waiting. Let me prepare a suitable stage for our union.
That was a fun fight. The that rumination thing, or what was it called, was yeah, I saw a bell ring. I could see on him that it turns a quarter to the right, but I thought that he would turn it a quarter to the right while he was still stuck in place and then do the left bank at the same time. So I was looking for a spot that was actually safe at the same time. And I also wasted too much time thinking about the fact that I thought that that he was going to turn 90 degrees as well. But he didn't, of course. What tripped me up was I thought he was going to do left bank and the explosion at the same time, but he didn't.
Can you contend with she who rules the tides?
Like, normally, if they're casting like that, they're supposed to resolve simultaneously, right? They just didn't. What?
You must make an ally of the wind. Rise above the whitecaps.
That was an incredibly massive knockback.
Ah, you don't disappoint.
Elringer says, wish the new math boss was more advanced.
I'm a harsh
Well,
mistress.
I agree, but I feel like it doesn't even, it wasn't really a math boss, was it? It was, as we said, a geometry boss, right? Which can be complicated in its own way.
Brace for the storm! I trust you don't mind if they play too.
Personally, I feel like the thing with Thaliak that we just fought that made him easy, quote unquote, was that for the most part, there was like, if you just followed the group and had at least one person that really knew what they were doing, then you didn't need to think. What made Math Robot so difficult back in Stormblood was that he gave each player a unique correct answer, so you couldn't follow someone else's lead. That was what made Math Robot so difficult. Was you had to figure it out yourself, and you could not rely on anyone else helping you because they couldn't.
That's the way,
Um,
my clever serpents.
So that, like, the only way they... Geometry, yes, geometry is math, but I feel like you're being a little contrarian right now.
Go on, my pets. Don't be shy. Boundless as the ocean. Swim free, my pet. You can surely do better than that.
Do we have enough people to live this?
You're bloody brilliant, you are.
Thank you. But my point was more that what made Math Robot difficult had nothing to do with it being a math question. The reason why Math Robot from Lighthouse was considered so annoying and difficult was because you had to figure out the answer yourself. Then math had to take the fall because that was the question.
After all this time, it feels strange calling to you thus.
That's my opinion, at least. And I feel like it wasn't the math that made it difficult, it was the fact that the fight was designed in such a way that you had to figure out the answer for you, and you couldn't follow anyone else's lead.
Till our journey together must end.
Which you normally can with most mechanics, like the Thaliak mechanics. For the most part, my mistake was thinking for myself instead of just sticking with half of the raid. Because the raid typically split up in two blobs, one or two blobs, and I should just have followed the bigger blob, and it would have been fine.
Strong are they who roam.
Oh. Very interesting. Like the marker for that, it was quite intuitive.
Stand firm amidst the storm.
What? That's ridiculous. No, so the thing is, what I mean, Bellringer, is that in the lighthouse, you had to figure out the math yourself. In Thalia fight, even if it had been math, you didn't have, like, there were multiple options and avenues for people to help you. So you didn't have to figure out the answer yourself. So it's fair to say that what made it difficult was the math, because you had to do the math, but had it been a math question, but there was only one answer and everyone had to figure it out, then it wouldn't have been such a hated mechanic, I don't think. Oh my goodness. That's really good. The safe spot is obviously a place that isn't a safe spot, it looks like. Also, hey Pokeshack, I hope you're doing well.
My bowstring sings.
What does it sing about? I'm also doing well. Thank you.
You can overcome this. I know you can.
Thank you.
Rise!
Ah, a square platform. Perfect.
Fighting you. That strength shall be returned to the star. Come. Grant us our heart's desire. Stay not your steps.
That is, You respawn back on the arena BSR and just immediately get flung into the air. That's so funny. That reminds me of, like, Tower Paradigm's Breach getting yeeted by the building.
Behold the wondrous arrow.
What? What the? That is a weird marker. I feel like it's more so intended to be confusing to look at. Like,
I'm glad that it was you who came to us.
like in from my perspective, this raid is a case of that whoever it is who's responsible for coming up with the boss markers was given a lot of freedom. No, this is like in Copied Factory.
Blessings be upon you on the road ahead.
Wow! Wow!
May the wind ever be at your back.
Oh my god! Are you kidding me, Osha? Woohoo! And look at me, who just recently released a video praising all of the praising the game for having all of these easy to follow boss markers, and then they do this where they just make an entire raid that is like, you like boss markers?
The sweet sorrow of Caetsu. I beg you, stay the course to the end.
Like Kaiten moment, yeah, a little bit. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, just that I find it particularly hilarious that we get these absolutely ludicrous markers in this raid right after I released a video about how clear and easy to read the markers are, and like showing a lot of good examples. Oh,
Servants? What's the meaning of this? Those ones, I leave to you.
thank you. This sudden story twist. Look, it's Angelos. You look different. Nice interrupt.
It seems we're being summoned. Go, my friend. I will stay here with the others.
But wait, there's more. What? What? Oh, there's not very much safe spot here. I think at least one of them could be interrupted though. Seems they do, Gazel. At least enough people do. On the bright side, it seems that we're safe enough. Yeah, that is true, Pokecheck. It's kind of like the Ice Servants in the previous Alliance raid. This is very epic music.
The will of the star has entrusted the future to you and yours. As entities charged with ensuring life on Aetheris, we rejoice in this outcome with all our hearts.
By their powers combined, they are this. Eulogia. Ah.
Tis time, beloved children. Time to bid farewell to we relics of the past.
What happens with the prayer when you have nothing to pray to?
Come, children, fulfill our final wish. See every last lotus returns to the star.
Dawn of Time? That's a lot of damage. The big damage. First form. Oh. Second form. I'm not sure what I'm looking for. I see the arms.
Fight. Fight with all your being.
The hand, I guess. We have a 3 players alive that can raise in the entire raid.
Receive our love and transcend it. Blessings be upon the Etheris. Twas your faith that gave rise to this radiance. Shine like the stars on high.
Ah, okay, I get this one, I think. Sort of. It's like Ifrit stashes, but it's just indicated with the moons instead. Radiant finish, I remember that mechanic straight up from the previous raid. Yeah, that means that's the first knockback. Ah, yes, a stack marker, that's what we needed. We somehow managed to recover. Bruh. Ah, yes, this mechanic again. Oh. This is really cool. It's like a memory check on all of the bosses. Matron's Breath. Is that the one with the... Yes, of course it is. Like they're like doing the best ofs of the most unique mechanics from each fight. Torrential Tides. That was another one of those we just did. Fire Guts. Stab, 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 stab. Well, I just want to say we managed to fully recover. Well, oh, this one. I can't see which one it would be. But that was just AoE damage for now. I don't know where we're supposed to stand for this. I couldn't see whether it was blue or orange for the Nalthal mechanic. Oh, the boss glowed blue. Fair enough. I had a hard time seeing it. Bruh. Almost. It's okay, Gazel. I appreciate the extra angle. It helps me to perhaps more easily be able to learn for the future. I had almost realized how it worked, I think. But I didn't realize which way the boss was going to be facing at the end of their dashes. I think that was what messed me up. Nice. We did it! With no wipes. Somehow.
Thank you.
Bruh. Bruh. It's incredible how we can start in a place that looks like Sharlayan and end, once again, on a disc in the middle of nothingness. It's incredible! Yeah, thank you everyone for joining me for the raid. In particular, very much appreciated Aradel leading the way. Since I knew Aradel had already been in, I had at least a semblance of an idea of what was going on. When I was completely dumbfounded by a mechanic, I would just go, well, there's a good chance Aradel knows. I'll just go over there. Without saying a word. Like, I still messed it up when I trusted Aradel blindly because I didn't understand the details. It's just, they went over there. I should go over there. I get cleaved because Aradel isn't like exactly on the perfect spot and I'm not. Also, my god. Caetsu, are you alright? Thanks for clearing the way, Caetsu. That being, I presume, is the 12? You have done well, children of man. As promised, we shall reveal the truth in its entirety. 42. It was 42 all along. Our desire is simply thus, to give ourselves unto the star as a blessing. In the 12 millennia we have existed, we have come to harbor tremendous power through prayers. Through battle, our essence shall unravel and return to the star, where it might give rise to new life. Such is our final gift to you. You mean you'll disappear? Yes. The fragments of our former souls, which serve as the core of our existence, shall rejoin the life stream. Yet though we may fade from sight, our individuality lost, our stabilizing influence shall endure. The only thing to change is where your prayers find their way. Henceforth, it shall be this, the instrument of blessing that receives of mortal hopes. Hopes that shall be given back to the star. But your presence brings comfort to mankind. Everyone would wish for you to remain. Must you truly fade away? Such gladdening things you say, child. We must confess, what we do, we also do for ourselves. When mankind overcame the final days, it so moved us that even we who are but constructs knew the greatest joy. You have shown your unfaltering love for the world. In return, we would show our undying love for you. Worry not. Myths are wont to be woven and passed down. So long as men hold the 12 in fondness, we shall live on in your faith in us. When you say such things... The moment of parting has come. By our blessing, may you march towards a brighter future. Farewell, beloved children. And you, Monkey. Especially you, Monkey.
I can't see anything.
When you are ready, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Pokeshack, and you too.
May the font of your ingenuity ever flow. Yours is the strength to destroy all obstacles.
Abide in virtue and hold fast to the truth. There's meaning in your deeds. Celebrate life and embrace death. May you flourish and reap a bountiful harvest. In your limited time, have boundless compassion. Carry yourself with honor and forge on towards victory. Harbor love in your heart for yourself, for others, and for the world. From past to future the river of knowledge flows. Be part of its nourishing waters. May a wonderful new world greet you beyond destiny's horizon. Become as the ocean, and you shall weather any storm. Well, as the wind blows unfettered, may you be free to follow your heart. Monkey! How? Monkey?
My monkey.
You needn't agonize so, Ocean. Remain with them if that be your desire. But this is what we've dreamed of, to return to the star together. I never imagined that I would grow so fond of them, that parting would be so hard. Long as we have abided in patience to rejoin the live stream. Or the drop in the river of time that is man's fleeting life. Why not share your fate with them? Follow your heart, as you ever have. And when the time comes, we shall meet again.
Nani?
Guess who's back? In his cape of happiness. I decided to continue journeying a while longer. Monkey! Words can't well express my surprise when I opened my eyes to see Derek standing there. I'm naturally curious as to what happened, but above all, I rejoice for our dear friend returned. What to say in such a moment? Best to speak from the heart, I suppose. I'm glad to be back. And we're glad to have you back. Glad hardly suffices to describe it. We're over the moon that you're still here, Derek. Or should we call you Ocean? I no longer have Ocean's power. Derek will do. I was remade from the portion of my essence that wasn't returned to the star, and will live out my days as a man. May I ask what happened? No sooner had the 12 vanished than you reappeared before us. At the very last, I couldn't bear it. I couldn't bear to say farewell. Your earnest friendship had weighed down my steps. And the little fellow's fervent call halted them. I was overwhelmed by the keenest longing to remain among you and see more of the world I love. Upon seeing me torn, my brethren bade me follow my heart, and needed no further urging. We created the instrument of blessing in the fate that, one day, the star would no longer need our guiding hand. Thanks to you, that day has finally come. It may. Ah, but I ramble. How uncharacteristic. Let us head back to the Omphalos, shall we? I thought the entire point was that the Omphalos had changed. Well, we must return to Sharlayan. The Forum will be expecting a report. Yet, if the entire truth were to be revealed to the public, it would shake the very foundation of the worship of the 12. Aye, in penning our report, we would do well to consult the Forum on what details are safe to disclose. Much pertaining to the field of mythology will need to be obfuscated, I fear. Worry not on my account. Inspired by our findings, I have a mind to examine the 12 in the context of reception theory. The people's perception of deities are wont to be informed by their culture. By comparing the differences across eras and regions, I believe we may uncover heretofore unseen aspects to the 12. Reception theory, you say? Most intriguing. I should like to see the fruits of your research when I visit Sharlayan. I'd love to hear what you're writing about me. When you do, have care not to reveal who you used to be. Our scholars would be all over you like starved beasts. I see. Perhaps I shall wait a while before I come calling. Before I came to you, I simply roamed the world. I had no objective, nothing I wished to find. With this second chance I have, I mean to undertake my travels with a renewed perspective. But I set out. Yoink. I would move my brethren's hopes elsewhere, to a place in men's midst. Oh, what a wonderful idea! If you don't mind, we should like to accompany you. By all means, we make for the Sanctum of the 12 in the East Shroud. Ah. Smash cut to some players that haven't completed the MSQ yet, that are just completely confused why there's so many people at, like, the church, so to speak. Like, why is everyone here? Ah, no matter how many times I visit the Sanctum, its majesty never fails to move me. Yeah, exactly. Wow, there's a lot of guests at my wedding. And the rich history. Originally built during the dawn of the 5th astral era, it was reclaimed by the wood before being restored in the wake of the calamity. Truly, it stands as a testament to the influence that magical civilizations and city-states have had upon Eorzean culture. This sanctum harbors the hopes of men, and now those of my brethren shall join them. If you are not averse, I would speak a little of my brethren, that is, those individuals whose essence lent them form. As it pertains to another age, some concepts may be foreign to you, but would you be interested nonetheless? Absolutely. Excellent. Speech, 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 speech. But first, blob of hope. By the power of the blob of hope. Boom. More blobs of hope. Björgard was a man with a gift for creating inanimate objects, such as buildings and furnishings. With his abilities, he served a supervisory role at the Bureau of the Architect, where he was nothing sort of a pillar. His chief was carefree to a fault, you see, and he took it upon himself to ensure the work was done. Ralger was a brawny man whom Renar encountered on her travels. They quickly struck up a friendship, and he joined her on a quest to destroy an enormous meteor that was hurtling towards the star. It is fair to say, this event gave rise to the legends surrounding the destroyer. Azema was a woman who served as a judicial officer in the Bureau of the Administrator, an experience which served her well as the Warden. She was an ardent proponent of the seat of Azem, and dreamed of training under Venar and her successor. Naldthal was a close, personal friend of mine. A merchant by trade, he was outwardly gregarious, but also possessed a reserved side and knew quiet joy in his passion for ore. When men began treating him as a dual-aspected god, it reminded me of the person he used to be, and couldn't help but be struck with a pang of nostalgia. Nofika was a landscape architect of great repute who grew plants gathered from the star over. Despite being skilled in magic, she preferred to nurture plants as nature intended, and her garden ever bloomed with beautiful flowers. All who visited were said to leave with their souls solved. Ulthik was a researcher who observed newly made creations in Elpis. He possessed mastery over time magics and was known to be a kind-hearted if reticent man. Although it was at his sister's urging that he first joined our faction, he soon became a stalwart believer in the cause and always took the initiative in discussion. Alone was a formidable warrior tasked with hunting creations that were deemed detrimental to the star. For her prowess, she had been regarded as a leading candidate for the seat of Pashtarot, preserver of discipline and order. Memphina was the youngest among us, a student affiliated with the Words of La Habrea at the Academia Anida. Even within that prestigious institution, she was considered a prodigy, and hers were the hands that created the magic to isolate and seal Zodiac. Wow. Thaliak was the headmaster of the Academia Anida, a man of learning and leadership both. He presided over the institution's myriad faculties. No known phenomenon existed in which he wasn't versed. Words do not do justice to express the remarkable scholar that he was. Nemea was an observer in Elpis, like her older brother Ulthik. She possessed a caring and inquisitive nature and was liked and trusted by her peers. It is said that she began the custom of offering flowers to the departed. Limlane was a researcher at Metabaseus Thalassi. Limlane was a researcher at Metabaseus Thalassi, a facility for the observation and evaluation of sea life. So passionate was she about her work, she once threw a knife at someone who inadvertently came too close to her observations object. Ah! Oshun, me, himself, was a traveler whom Venar encountered in the wilderness. They shared a campfire and discussed at length what it meant to be free. Leaving my hopes as the wanderer in this place, I shall set forth anew, as simply a man named Derek. And last, but not least, the Watcher. He was the chief archivist at Anamnesis Anida, and respected Venar deeply as an individual, even as he cared for her as a dear friend. Indeed, among our number, none was more devoted to Venar, and that devotion made him best suited to his duty and the solitude that accompanies it. That is all. There's a lot to remember, but I should be glad if they remain with you in some way. We're grateful that you should share with us these new aspects of Hydaelyn and the 12. Thank you. Well, it is past time we headed back to Sharlayan. It wouldn't do to keep Ojika waiting. I assume you will be traveling via Limbs Elomensa, in which case, allow us to see you off from there. Till now, I wandered alone, but as I recently learned, a journey is better shared. That is very true. At least in my opinion, a journey is better shared. Our friends are presently booking their passage. That's where you were. There's room aboard the next ship, so we'll be setting sail shortly. Oh, Derek, no sooner do we arrive in a crowded place than you up and disappear. Ah, it is a force of habit in order to avoid people. But I needn't do so anymore, do I? On the contrary, I should embrace the chance to connect with other souls. As your comrades, we completely agree. And remember, you're always welcome at the Baldesian Annex, so be sure to pay us a visit. You may depend on it. Thank you, Derek, for giving us your trust. And thank you as well, Caetsu. Had you not been with us, we would have struggled to grant the 12 their wish. Well, we had best find our vessel. While the report remains to be compiled, I believe we can officially declare our investigation complete. Till next we meet, my friends. Walk a little bit down the street, turn around. Still by. Walk a little further. Do you still have time, Caetsu? Ere I embark on my journey, there's a place nearby I would like to visit. Might I ask you to accompany me? Thank you. Come, we shall head outside the city via the Tempest Gate. Look, Derek, unless you're waiting for me at the Tempest Gate, I'm just going to take this ether shard over here. Yeah, I do agree with that, Bellringer. It would have been more interesting if they all had just gone. We could just like become mortals now and experience the world. But I also get that, like, since they were ancients before this, basically, they have lived far too long. So maybe they just want to, like, get it over with and be done. They've done their part, you know, as in ancient society, that's how they do things. Here, the wind whips up in from the sea like a storm, but I've always found the sensation quite invigorating. Lest you wonder, I intend to strike west, and thence make my way through Upper and Outer Landacea. And in order to mark my new beginning as a man, en route I wish to see Ocean's embrace with you. You need only accompany me across the bridge. From there, I shall continue on my own. Such a great wave that ripped the gods' grip from the mainland. In the wake of the calamity, my brethren and I were all occupied with our respective duties. This is my very first time seeing the bridge. Shall we then? Follow Derek's lead and try not to fall behind. Oh, that's a difficult quest. I get that, Bellringer. What I mean is more like, remember, the ancients just have a tradition of doing that. Some among them decided to stay way longer than what is normal, like Benar, for example. So it's not a requirement. It is a fine bridge, boasting splendid views and brimming with life, the very image of man's determination to overcome adversity. I'm honored that it should be named Oshun. Well, this is as far as I asked you to come. But if you're willing, might we converse a little more? It occurs to me I hadn't asked you about your opinion of the 12. How you personally perceive us, for instance, or what you felt when you faced us. Your words from the heart? Your words from the heart I would take with me as a memento. Bellringer says, but wasn't it frowned upon that Bernard did that? Yes, that's kind of how tradition works sometimes. But it wasn't a requirement, was what I meant to say. Is that so? The others will be glad to hear that. Thank you for humoring me, Caetsu, and apologies for keeping you so long. I'm ready to set forth now, to witness a world filled with our blessing. And Monkey. To begin with, I shall tour La Noscea and visit those locales which are named after the 12, after which I shall go wherever the wind blows. Together with this fellow, of course, until such time as he tires of my company. This time, I shall embrace the joy of meeting and accept the sorrow of parting. And when the time comes for me to return to the star, I shall share my experiences with my brethren. Needless to say, your words will feature prominently in my recounting. That is a really good balance. You will continue your own journeys, will you not? Then I shall look for you out there. Then I shall look for you out there. Fare you well, my friend, and may the 12 bless you and keep you. Monkey!
Da 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 da.
Myths of the Realm. The paintings of certain deities among the 12 are now available for purchase from Thurimat and the Pillars. Those of the remaining deities are works in progress. Oh. That would actually be really cool, Sharo, if we meet them in the exact same way. And also something I just wanted to point out that I think is kind of funny is that that monkey, the baby Oppo, the quality of its design, just it reminded me of Caetsu in the Shadow of Ma raid series, where it looks so incredibly janky that you're surprised that it has a walk animation sometimes. You know what I mean? Not necessarily in a bad way, it's just really funny. We have these extremely high fidelity characters, and then there's this monkey. Yeah, exactly. It looks incredibly goofy. And I think it's really funny that we have this Doofenshmirtz situation where it's like, if I had a nickel for every time there was an Alliance raid series that starred a really goofy looking animal companion of some sort, I would have 2 nickels. Which is not much. But it's weird, it's strange that it happened twice. Or however the quote goes, you know what I mean. Because it's specifically 2 Alliance raids where this happens in. Right. Well. That was I think that was pretty much what we aimed to accomplish today. We started with a little discussion about what's new in the patch. And then we did the entirety of the new MSQ, and then we did the Alliance raid in 3 separate parts. So that of course means if you saw this part and you didn't watch the MSQ and you wanted to see the MSQ, that is an entirely different VOD that was up earlier. So you don't have to rewind this stream all the way back. Also, obviously, I didn't complete the MSQ in like 10 minutes, given how long this took. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Let me just repeat as I say. If you enjoyed the stream and the people you've seen here, whether it's in-game or in the chat, there is a Discord community server where you can join, where you will find me and some, if not all of the people that you've seen in the live chat. You will also find the weekly schedule where you can see what's happening about a week in advance, up to a week in advance. Usually I tell you what's happening in the next week on Sunday or Monday. There's also in the announcement channel where I put up a reminder every time I plan a stream, post a video, or whatever I get up to. Like, for example, this interview I mentioned earlier in the MSQ stream, I did post about that. And you might not have seen very much of that otherwise. You can also get a special role to get a notification whenever I plan a stream or whatever. But that is entirely optional, and it's a role you have to pick on the Discord server. And indeed, if you did enjoy and liked this stream, it would help me very much if you left a like on the stream. That tells YouTube that it was a very enjoyable stream that you think other people should also see. I very much appreciate it. Thank you in advance. I think that is everything I have. Tomorrow, I'm putting out a video going over how you go about reporting another player from start to finish. So, how do you even open the report form? And how do you fill it out? Because some people might see the report form and go like, I don't know what to do with this, and then just give up. And on Thursday, we have tea time, which means that if you have some clips of yourself doing some content you would like me to review, whether it's the new dungeon, the new alliance raid, or something else you just want my feedback on it, or you would like to have me see it, you can post your clips on the Discord server. And then aside from that, we'll probably just talk, you know, Final Fantasy XIV stuff. Maybe we'll talk a lot about things in the new patch. Who knows? And then on Friday, we'll be going over 10 of the hardest wall-to-wall pulls in Final Fantasy XIV. At least from my, from my perspective, of course. Yeah. And then Saturday, we will actually be doing the Shadow of Ma Alliance Raid series on Smolkai. So, if you want to see Caetsu and you have no idea what I'm talking about, that is a great opportunity to do that. So I hope to see you for any of those things. But with that said, that is all from me. Good night, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world. And I hope to see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.